There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, everyone. It's your Yonko host back at the helm again at the Yonkō Table, DrJaceAttorney. And with me, as always, is fellow Yonkō Table mate, GrandMasterHoop. GrandMasterHoop, how have you been?
I've been good, Dr. Jace. It's nice to take a break from hosting duties. They're all yours. I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. Yeah, the helm is a lot. It's quite the task. So I'm good where I am, and I'm doing good too. You know, it's my summer, no children, because I'm an educator. For those who didn't know, I'm just enjoying these days. Yeah. Woke up this morning, watched Loki, and went about my day, and now I'm here to talk about it with you fellas. So yeah, I'm doing all right, Dr. Chase. Thanks for asking.
All right, game on. But that's basically what we're going to be talking about today, because today, as you mentioned, we had the premiere episode of Loki, and it's been some time since we've had a chance to dive into some Marvel Madness. What was it? Falcon and Winter Soldier ended in April, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Late April?
Late April, yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
And then other than the news stuff that we've been covering in our News Coup specials, I mean, here's our next yeah, and this is, I guess, your next big dosage of Marvel. So I think
I'm looking forward to it.
Same,
yeah. But with us today, we have also fellow returning Supernovas to talk about the Loki premiere. First up, we got fellow Supernova, Rose the Crafter. Rose, how are you?
I'm doing good. Grandmaster, it's good to see that you made it back early enough from your jazz set, so you can join us.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I'm at the table and I'm ready to eat.
Let's eat. I'm sure Grandmaster will piece together more of the missing items from his wardrobe.
It's the angle of my laptop. I don't like how my hair looks since we're doing these whole YouTube videos now. So it's whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
I'm preparing because we're going to NOLA. So I got to get my sax, trombone playing ready. Whatever.
Very true. But we also have two more fellow Supernovas. Next up, we got Supernova Darce. Darce, how are you? I know you gush over these Marvel shows.
Oh yeah, I do, and I'm super excited to see Loki. I'm ready to dive in, talk about it, and get nerdy with the guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, jumping into all these theories and speculation. Oh man, that's gonna be its own segment. Cannot wait. And last but not least, we have Supernova Tevin the Fifth. Tevin the Fifth, how are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon, guys. How y'all feeling today? Oh, y'all said it earlier. I went last. My bad.
As long as we're here, we're all excited to dive straight into Loki. And I mean, hey, let's get cracking, man.
Sure.
So thematically, what are we dealing with this type of season with Loki? I feel like what Marvel did in the first episode, thematically at least, they're going back into what we initially loved about the Loki character. Because I think he was a character that over the years, he grew more on the fans, right? And personally, it's a nice change of pace to go back to the villain Loki, the guy that used to be the antagonist against the Avengers. And that's a different character to compare to where he ended up in Thor Ragnarok, and then unfortunately in what was it? Infinity War, right?
War. Yeah.
Infinity War. So I'm going to turn over to Grandmaster, what did you think about this theme that they're exploring, like going back into Loki's character and really putting that at the forefront for this episode and possibly the rest of the series?
So I think the best way that they kind of set it up for us is I took two quotes from the show, and one was saying Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, told Loki, your goal was your whatever purpose is to bring fear and whatever. But the part that stood out to me, he said, and so others can achieve their best versions of themselves. And then he highlighted the Avengers. And that's typically true. Loki has definitely played, like you said, the antagonistic role. And in doing so, that has built up Thor, that has built up the Avengers in the early films. And then, he plays second fiddle to Thor's character growth in the Thor sequels. And of course, Loki does get some growth of his own. But, it's always short-lived, or it's always, it's casted in it's Thor's shadow cast in Loki's favor,
Right. Even though he's still a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite due to just, I think, the charisma of Tom Hiddleston.
Right.
So with that said, I like how this show is setting up us. And again, he also, Mobius said, what makes Loki tick? And I think that is what we're really deep diving into this series. And by the, before the credits roll, I think Loki came to a great understanding, and he said, it's part of the illusion. It's the cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear, a desperate play for control. And I think that's a beautiful quote. And when you really look at Loki and I get more of the earlier films, this man just needs a sense of control, a purpose, a glorious purpose that he's always been searching. And I think he's easily manipulated, and that's where we see him with, Thanos and whatnot, as far as, attacking Earth. So yeah, we're just going to get deep down into how he ticks and what really makes him move. And so I like that a lot, and I'm here for it. I want to see that fleshed out more. So I'm good on that. Give me more.
Do you think we're going to get maybe a different Loki by the end of this series compared to, I guess the one that's dead? Is Variant Loki going to be different by the end of this? Just based on what you've seen so far.
That's a fair question. And I'm going to say, in the rules of time travel and whatnot, he has to be different, because, the Loki we got up until Infinity War, he was an active role in that timeline, and his path was always changing, and he was adapting and making choices. But now this Loki has the knowledge of his future. I believe he knows eventually he's going to have to go back to his timeline and live out that future. However, he's making the conscious choice to do good with whatever Mobius got planned. And we'll get into the big reveal at the end of the episode later during this podcast. But I believe, this Loki will be unlike any other Loki we've had, because now he's coming in with that knowledge. He's coming in, this is my set path. I am supposed to die, but let's see what more I can do with that knowledge. And now this great power that is the time variance authority, which we can get into also later on.
Oh,
but
yes.
Yeah, this Loki is going to be unlike any other. And again, I'm here for Tom Hiddleston. I'm here.
I agree. I also want to present that question onto the table. What do you guys think as well, thematically, about what they're going to explore with Loki? Like GrandMasterHoop was saying, he thinks that, basically this Loki eventually is going to have to, come to terms with that sacred timeline and eventually live out that life, right? I personally think this might be a way for them to reintroduce Loki back into the MCU. I don't know how, because we'll get into the sacred timeline stuff in a bit, but I don't know. I see this as an opportunity to both introduce new characters into the mythos, major villain characters as well, but also just as a means to say, hey, Loki's still moving around. I guess the fan term they're calling him is Variant Loki, just to differentiate him from the main Loki, right? So what do the rest of you think about what's going to go on thematically with Loki's character?
I can go. I think thematically, I kind of agree with GrandMasterHoop, but I kind of diverge in it's Variant Loki. But I think that the sacred timeline Loki in the ending that we see or we know is going to happen, and that now he has the revelation of seeing. I think eventually he's going to kind of merge and come to grips with that. So it is Variant Loki. But we already saw a glimpse in the first episode of his development, kind of a development that took him, I don't know, most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to get to. So now that he already has that little nugget of knowledge and motivation, I think he's going to come to that resolve just as Loki did in the Sacred Timeline, dying to Thanos, but I just think it'll be a little bit different. So he'll kind of he'll be a variant. He'll be a different person, but the same thought process or the same mindset that he finally came to at the end of his time in this sacred timeline that they keep calling it, that he'll get there a lot quicker and be able to work with that. But there's still a lot of questions for me about what's going on here, and introducing a whole timeline and a whole like what's right, what's sacred, and decisions on decisions and TVA. This is the time loop crime thing they promised us, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what we thought it was going to look like, but I guess it looks like this. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
For sure. And like, I mean, time travel is always finicky whenever you introduce it into any form of fiction. For the most part, I think Marvel and the Russo brothers, I think they did the time travel thing in Endgame pretty well. You know, there's some minor stuff that kind of doesn't add up, but for the most part, I'll say 90 to 95%. It's pretty solid, right? And I found it kind of hilarious how because I always watch these in subtitles in case like I miss like some type of like pronunciation or verbiage or whatever. And it's funny because when they play that scene again from in Endgame where Loki picks up the Tesseract when he's in cuffs, and it's funny because in subtitles all the other characters are called 2012 Hulk, 2012 Tony Stark. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that's the 2012 version. I don't know, it was something minor, but I'm like, oh wow, they actually went out of their way to like make them so different that they're giving them like timestamps for like what year they're from. So I thought that was pretty neat. Darce, what about you?
Excellent. So it's actually kind of cool to see how Loki went and he was able to see his future. And I think right now Loki is like, he's caught in this like fork in the road, morally or like, spiritually or as a person, whatever, because he has to either make the decision that I'm going to stick with the good guys and still try to be, the person that like I ended up being, close to my brother, basically saving humanity because I was able to like help stop Thanos. Like, should I stick on that path? But then again, if I stick on that path, what is it going to lead me to? Death, like by a neck crush, Mm-hmm. Or is he going to go into the other path and be like, you know what? Well, screw it. I'm going to go and be with the bad guy. I'm going to go and like be more mischievous because like at the end of the day, I am mischievous, Maybe I don't really enjoy violence, but I like to cause like the mayhem. He's an agent of chaos. So I think like he is going to be caught in between these two paths of I've done this. I did, I was a good guy or I transitioned to a good guy. I had my Zuko story, my character
Pretty
development.
much.
And I went and I died. Or maybe he can kind of go and take the different path of like, you know what, let's go cause some chaos. And so I honestly think that he's going to choose both. With the whole time, I think it's going to create this giant loop of him being a good guy and then realizing that being a good guy, they don't, good guys finish last. And so he's going to go and turn that other way and turn, into that variant that he now has to kind of like chase around and kind of
Grandmaster, you
never
okay?
know what's gonna happen. Time is very confusing. I'm trying not to do so many spoilers, but time is confusing, and
Save it.
I'll save it for the end. I think that it's gonna go full circle for Loki. I do have a fan theory that he's gonna get caught up in some sort of temporal, time change, and it's gonna make him physically younger, and we're gonna have young Loki be part of the Avengers. So that's an idea that's out there. I'll let somebody else, shoot me down, but we'll see what happens.
I just want to say to you, don't you think that he's already trying to get that sense of control still that he already innately has, with seeing how his death is gonna be, and even if he's still trying to figure out a way to do the right things, he's only doing it because what other choice does he have other than immediate reset from the temple? So he's kind of already trying to go for a sense of control in what he's already trying to do and how he moves forward. So I think we're going to see a lot of internal conflict of him trying to also take control of the situation of his death as well.
I mean, it's kind of cool to think too, like, if you guys personally were to see your own future and see your death, would you want to continue on that path towards that, or would you want to do something different to either change it or make different choices? And that's kind of the what's at play right now is with Loki is, does he want to continue on that path or does he want to change it? So I know with me personally, if the outcome wasn't the greatest but the journey was great, I'd probably stay with the journey, but you never know.
Classic, can you control your fate or not? It's that classic tale.
Well, also control your fate, and then on top of that, control your fate as well as do more with your fate. This is low key his second chance.
Roll credits.
Yeah, low key his second chance. However, it's like you're not gonna get any credit for it. He wants to be viewed as, he's a child screaming for attention, and he's got an opportunity to do something bigger than himself, but they're not going to make a statue for you. They're not going to make a statue out of it for you. You're not going to get this glorious praise that like Thor gets. This is internal, this is
internal satisfaction.
Yeah.
And I love that Mobius was like, all right, so what do you want? And he's like, well, I want to be the king of Midgard. And, like, and then what? And then space. And he's like, okay, and then what? And he's like, I just want to rule. And he's like, okay, great plan you got there.
You see how I really like how Mobius kind of like pointed that out, because we kind of see that villain archetype in other forms of fiction too. We see the big baddie wanting to conquer the world or conquer a dimension or whatever, and it's like
the Trigon area.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, my man, but what comes after that? Like what's your end game? What's your end game in all of this? So I liked how Mobius pointed that out, and it progressed Loki's I guess his own internal monologue. Tevin, we haven't heard from you in a bit. What do you think about all of this?
Well, I feel like you guys mostly hit all the hot points, the most important points. But originally, before watching this, my original thought was, who asked for this? And that's just me. I'm just saying.
Who asked for like a Loki spinoff?
Yeah, it's like, who is his fan base? Like, why does Loki get his own? I just feel like before watching this, I just felt like there are so many other characters I'd rather have a TV show about. And it's like the world thinks Loki's like the best thing, but for me, it doesn't really translate to that. But that was before I watched this. So with that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Time travel gets a little iffy with me because instead of like focusing what it is, I spend a lot of my time looking for the holes, like where they're messing up. What did I understand? Like,
it's really easy to mess up.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm happy to see Owen Wilson again, him and his nose. I feel like look.
Oh my God.
Owen Wilson is great.
It's iconic.
Yeah. And I feel like him and Tom Hiddleston, they have great chemistry together. So I can't wait to see them do more down the line. The head security lady, I was happy to see her because she played the sister Ruby in Lovecraft Country. So it was just, it was very nice to see her again too. I'm glad that she's still working because she's an awesome actress. One of my biggest critiques of the Captain America show, was it called Captain America? What was it
It
called?
was Falcon and
Falcon
Winter
and
Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Captain Falcon, yes.
One of my big critiques of it was that it was just so grounded. It was just so grounded. So with this show, I just feel like there's just infinite possibilities that can happen. Like there's just no telling where they can go with it, and it feels like a precursor to opening up the Marvel world. Before it was just like, oh, we're coming to Earth and we got these Infinity Stones and everything's here only. And they threw out some keywords throughout the show, the multiverse and to get you. I'm just glad they opened it up. I can feel it opening it up. Like I said, time travel gets a little weird for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I think it's gonna be hilarious. And that's all I got to say for right now until I hear what you guys got to say more.
Fair enough. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned I forgot her name, but like I guess the cast in general, like in this show, because you mentioned Lovecraft Country, and I think there's a fan theory going around that there's another person from Lovecraft Country that's supposed to make confirmed.
Well, not for Loki, but in the MCU.
But in Ant-Man, they're confirmed.
Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania.
Right, and who is it? You know the name better than I do.
Well, that's the actor. The actor is Jonathan Majors. So the main character from Lovecraft is set to play Kang the Conqueror.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah, So, this opens up a whole nother can of worms, and we're gonna talk about the time variance and what all that means. Yes,
Kang might make an appearance in Loki.
Will he? He could. I mean,
I have a very strong theory.
The door is wide open for sure. But the actress Tevin the Fifth you were referring to, Wunmi Mosaku as Hunter B-15.
She's
I
awesome.
think I like her. We could just talk about the cast. I like her. I think she's gonna have a nice little fun little rivalry with Loki.
Yes.
Like she seems like the stickler, and she's trying to stick to the rules. And Loki's a variant, so that's a big no. Like, what the heck are we doing working with the variant? She's probably gonna want to use that stick on him the whole time.
So wait, actually, just pause real quick. That stick, does it erase you, or
I think so.
Like from existence?
From existence.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
So that variance of you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the variant.
Right.
The variant.
Yeah, to the sacred time.
Okay.
So.
It kind of reminded me of the melting stick from Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
That hardened to exile. Oh god, I'm
eternal death.
Eternal death and agony.
Wow.
But
shout out to Owen Wilson though. I do like Owen Wilson a lot. He's a great actor. And this is a very wow. Oh, God of Mischief. Wow.
Ka-chow. Wow.
He walked up to the panel and he was like, "How?" Wow.
Oh man, I love Owen Wilson. He's great. He's fantastic. I know Cars is one of Ethan's most favorite Pixar movies of all time.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's actually
Which one is it? Soul?
Soul. Cars is at the bottom of my list. Soul is like mid tier, but again, y'all like trying to push my buttons. Listen,
I thought this was your opinion.
It's not my opinion. I like the handler versus the handle dynamic that Loki and Mobius are gonna have. He's trying to help him get on this right path, and I like that. And of course, it's not gonna happen overnight, so that's gonna be a really fun dynamic to also watch. But real quick, I'm gonna let someone else hop on this because I know Darce, you're quite knowledgeable, but Gugu Mbatha Raw is playing Ravonna Renslayer. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Are y'all familiar?
I am not.
Rose,
Darce,
you familiar?
No, I'm actually not familiar with that one. What's her name?
With the person or with the
character?
What's her name?
I'm not familiar with the character. No.
So her name Ravonna Renslayer. She was the judge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this plays into the Kang.
I know who she is. Okay.
So little backstory. Kang the Conqueror's time traveling, whatever. Always goes back in the past to fight the Avengers for ruining his timeline. Kang was in love with this girl named Ravonna Renslayer.
And what's her other name?
Oh, I don't know her other name.
Terminatrix.
Whatever. That.
Okay, so it could be a slight, it could be a slight connection there.
It could
I think they're going to play on that connection because there's no way you use this character and not involve Kang in some way. So, what did you say her name was?
The Terminatrix.
The Terminatrix. Not sure what that is, but that sounds. They're gonna use that. I'm sure it's gonna come into play, and I don't know how, but that one Gugu Mbatha Raw is a really good actress. Don't know too many of her credits, but I know she's really good, and I like the fact they got a diverse cast. We got 2 black leads, okay, in a show about a white lead. I'll take that. I will take that.
Even a lot of the side characters are also, multicultural. It was pretty cool to see.
Yes, there's also Eugene Cordero playing that funny guy, Casey.
Office Man Casey.
What's the
fish?
He's Doughboy from what's that show? The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Seems right up his alley.
It.
The Good Place is on my list.
He plays a similar. I mean, he plays a different character in Good Place, but he plays this similar comedic relief.
Well, I picture this guy being Loki's sidekick, like pull him out the office.
A reoccurring character.
Oh yeah, get this man out the office, man. Get him out his cubicle. Bring him on the missions with Loki. He doesn't know what a fish is. Let him live a little.
You know what? Yeah.
He's just trying to figure out what all this stuff is.
And I don't want to get into what's in his desk. Yeah.
No, let's get into
it.
No, save it.
No,
we
will.
People what they want.
We're about to. Let's talk about one more character. Dr. Jace, you put Miss Minutes. You want to talk about who's voicing Miss Minutes?
Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Prolific Tara Strong. For those of you that don't know,
That's Tara Strong?
It's Tara Strong.
Oh, my Lanta. Ethan, were you with me when we met her?
No, we didn't. I didn't meet Tara Strong.
Oh, by myself. Okay.
Because if he did, he would have also invited me.
Well, yes, definitely.
Yes, but I mean, I was surprised. I didn't know she was part of the cast until last minute, and I want to know. I found it kind of funny that her name is Miss Minutes, right? That's
what is the clock, right? She's a clock. Yeah.
She's the clock.
You missed the minutes.
Right. I'm honestly surprised that this. We'll get into the organization in a minute, but I'm surprised the TVA, who is this possibly billion-year organization, they decide to, theme their infomercial or their infogram after mid-1950s cartoon style. I'm
I'll go to the movies.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm wow, you guys had billions of years and you went with that. All right.
Who's Tara Strong?
Okay.
Don't.
No, stop. He's fine.
Give him a chance to learn. It's a teaching moment for everyone.
Yeah, it's a teaching moment.
It is.
Who's Tara Strong?
Tara Strong, she voiced a lot of the cartoon characters that we grew up with on Cartoon Network.
Okay, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. So she voiced Batwoman, Batgirl from Batman.
Batgirl, yep.
White Cree Summers.
The who?
Yeah, very similar to White Cree Summer, sure.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Yes.
Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
Bubbles, Dill from Rugrats.
Timmy Turner.
Tara from Teen Titans.
No, she's not Tara. She's Raven.
She's Raven. Ben 10.
Oh gosh, she is the OG Ben 10.
I'm telling you,
Ben 10. That's right.
She's the OG Ben. I'm telling you, Tara Strong. Her profile is hella strong. I mean, it's really good. Harley Quinn.
She did do Harley Quinn on.
Right. Actually, wait. She didn't do Batgirl.
She did Tara in Young Justice.
She did do Terra and
okay.
Young Justice. You're right. She did do Terra and
My
Young
apologies.
Justice. She did Harley Quinn in the Arkham games, starting with Arkham City.
In
I
the
don't know why I
upcoming
said
video
that.
game as well.
Yeah, the upcoming one.
Twilight Sparkle in My Little Pony.
For all the bronies out there, nothing
Bring it out
against
to our audience, you know. We gotta.
no, nothing against the bronies.
You like what you like.
Listen, man.
No. Listen, Tara Strong is a goat in voice acting, and I'm glad a lot more voice actors are getting recognized for their talents. So I hope this Miss Minutes keeps coming up to teach Loki, I guess, about everything going on in this world. That'd be pretty cool. Like, I don't know, Loki's got a question, and they'd be like, "Pay attention to this." I'm trying to do an Owen Wilson. Pay attention to this.
You gotta
Little
say wow
info
first.
video.
No, first you gotta say ka-chow in the beginning.
Ka-chow. No, stop.
Ka-chow, Loki. Let's watch an infomercial. Oh man. I see Miss Minutes as I don't know, for those of you that play Fallout, but in Fallout they have the Vault Boy as this like icon of like dishing out all this information within the mythos. So like, you know, how to wash your hands, how to avoid radiation poisoning, you know, silly stuff. It's that blonde guy in the vault suit that's always smiling with the thumbs up. I see Miss Minutes as being the equivalent to that for the TVA. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of her, just a bunch of more videos of Owen Wilson saying ka-chow, watching more stuff about what the TVA goes through. But we keep dodging the bullet. Let's get right into that bullet. The TVA, the Time Variance Authority. The biggest question right now, and Loki asked this question himself too, are they the strongest known entity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Grandmaster, what do you think?
All right, I'm not gonna. As I know, Darce is itching. I'm sure Tevin is itching. So I'm just gonna. I'm gonna open up the bottle. I'm gonna come with the facts first. Just one simple fact. They said they controlled the Multiverse War, which is crazy as it sounds. Because one, and again, I'm just scratching the surface. A Multiverse War. They're saying sacred timeline. There is a sacred timeline that everything is supposed to follow, and then all these branches happen. And what I take from hearing a Multiverse War means variants from each timeline are interacting with one another and probably trying to end each other's universes. So who's in charge to bring it back together? The Time Variance Authority. I don't think it gets any higher than that in terms of power. So there I go. Open the bottle. The bottle's open.
It's on the table.
Hop on.
All right, gents, let's jump in.
No, we're using a bottle metaphor.
Fine, let's
chug.
Let's drink.
I think that TVA is pretty cool because they basically nullify all powers and magic, right? But just because they can nullify doesn't necessarily mean they're the absolute strongest. But then again, you know what? With the strongest powers in the universe, the Infinity Stones being used as paperweights, it's kind of crazy. They saw what was going to happen with Thanos snapping out half of the universe. Now, is the TVA part of the universe? Like, were they halfway snapped out? Probably not, but they exist outside of the boundaries of time and space. So I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty up there. We're probably gonna get Watu the Watcher, at some point come in here. But I don't know. I think this is cool. And speaking of the multiverse, like that is actually a really cool topic because multiverses are pretty huge in comic book lore. So we'll be able to see some fun characters. Maybe we'll see paths divulge into like different ways and then try to loop back in. I thought it was actually really cool that like Loki was like asking some questions like, well, who dictates what's the sacred timeline? And, like the three Watchers and the three lizard people, like, can we change their mind? Can we talk to them? Like, what can we do? So I think it's actually it's a really cool element to Loki. To be honest with you, the TVA reminds me a lot of like the Umbrella Academy, where you have like the suitcases and everyone has to time travel and all that stuff.
Okay.
That was in Umbrella Academy. But you just have like that overall master headquarters that isn't affected by anything else, and you just have to make sure you're sticking with the time zone and you're sticking with what's approved. And I love all of the different elements of like the different like timepieces too, like the old clocks and like the old TVs and the retro like lamps and decor and all that stuff. And then you have flying cars. It's all really cool.
Since we're talking time examples, I'm going to reference the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, Xenoverse 2 series, where they actually have a time patrol. I don't think the TVA is the strongest, the structure-wise, maybe the heads of the structure, maybe. But the structure itself is touchable. We see people are going missing, unless people are being killed, unless that is the sacred timeline. If not, then what is going on? So I think they have one of the highest responsibilities, which come with a lot of power, but the structure, the people at the lower levels don't have but so much power. They have technology.
They're the foot
They
soldiers.
have technology. Yeah, the foot soldiers have technology. They have ways of manipulating time and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm open eyes at this point. Eyes, ears, just open to figure out what is going on with this time loop. Because I myself have, like you all probably, have so many questions about, okay, but what about this person and that person throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe? You mean to tell me all of this chaos was supposed to happen? What do you mean a multiverse war? You mean to tell me all of this is like, we don't touch that, y'all are beneath that?
To be honest with you, it plays on like some religious aspects too. You know, like how some people would say like, oh wow, you have this almighty being. Are you telling me that like this chaos and this stuff was supposed to happen and it's all part of a great plan? So, you know, like Marvel's really good at touching on some of these like sensitive topics and some of these sensitive things. Mental health, religion, you know, politics, all of this different types of stuff. So who knows, maybe we'll see a little bit of kind of like similarities and mirroring with that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of just taking it as is. This is like the first time where I'm watching something Marvel and I'm not really familiar with anything. It kind of just feels like time travel Men in Black to me. I'm taking the creator's word as is. If they say these are the most powerful beings in the universe, as of right now, I'm just taking it as it is. But in my mind, by the time we get to the end of this, we're going to discover that, there are anomalies. There are people who maybe exist outside this timeline. Outside of our time itself, or maybe there's equal powers somewhere in the universe. It gives me hope that maybe characters who've died may be back later on, or different versions of themselves may be introduced later. It gives me hope for the X-Men franchise because I love X-Men so much, and I really need them to do them justice. So I'm just taking it like Jay said. I'm just taking it just open eyes, open ears, just trying to consume as much as I can. It's very exciting. The three time dudes. What are they actually called? What are they?
The timekeepers.
Timekeepers.
Yeah, the keepers. Yeah.
I know they kind of like represent Christianity. Like religious wise, Christianity. Christianity, Buddha, and somebody else starts with a P. I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's another entity. I'm just excited. I'm just taking it as is because I don't really know much. So that's where I stand with TWA for the most part. Anything can happen.
The implications of having multiple Infinity Stones. Did you see that disc? There was like two time stones in there.
What's the orange one? What's the
Soul.
orange?
Can you imagine?
Soul. There was a giant soul one.
You gave up something that you love just for it to be someone's paperweight. What?
But on top of that, Loki has so they don't work in that realm, right? I could grab 2 space stones, leave that realm, and now there's 2 space stones. The implications are huge.
Right. And I mean,
They
that's
are
exactly
pretty
what
big.
the Ancient One was saying, just all of these different things, everything has to follow according to the line, because if you take one out, look at this dark path. Well, what happens if you put 2 extra in? What type of chaos is this going to cause?
Exactly. So I didn't, I never thought. I thought after the phase 1 through 3 was called the Infinity Saga. I didn't think they would bring the Infinity Stones back into play, but here's an opportunity where Loki can grab all 6 of them and make himself a gauntlet and do whatever the fuck he wants to do. The implications are huge, people. They're huge.
But
how's he gonna do that? You said they were the most powerful.
He just has to grab them and run.
But you said
you
they
see,
were the most powerful.
He had a
They are.
realization. He had a realization that they don't matter in the grand scheme of things because the
yeah, that
TVA
realization.
Okay, yes, correct. Maybe not Loki will go on that path, but somebody, I'm telling you, that desk drawer, there's no way we're not going to see that desk drawer again.
I think they might be brought back in because when Thanos, reduces them to atoms, just because like matter cannot be created nor destroyed, it's just reduced to atoms, So you technically still need to have the Infinity Stones in order for the timeline to continue, right? Who's to say Loki doesn't accidentally drop the Infinity Stones within like the 9 realms? Maybe that's how Doctor Strange gets a time stone again, because the Sanctum Sanctorums need to be protected by a time stone. So maybe he gets one. Maybe Soul Stone comes back and we get Gamora, or maybe we see Vision come back because like we can get the Mind Stones. There's a lot of different implications that can happen from this. This can make the universe whole again. Who knows? We'll see.
You know what? That was one of my questions the whole time dealing with the Tesseract. And maybe you guys might know the answer, or maybe it hasn't happened yet. I'm like, if the Tesseract is here, how does it get back over there? Like, did I miss that? Or
no. So when he took the Tesseract, that is he is Variant Loki. That's a Variant Tesseract. Because remember, Tony and Steve went and got the Tesseract from 1970s. So in the grand scheme of this, what is it? The main time? What is it called? The Sacred Timeline.
The Sacred Timeline.
In the grand scheme of the Sacred Timeline, that Tesseract that Loki swapped
was not supposed to happen.
It's a variant. Like you said, it's a variant time.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. They said that one doesn't need to go back because the Avengers went and got a Tesseract from elsewhere.
And that's why this season is going to be one of the trickiest things to dive into, because it's time manipulation. Nothing plays by the rules. We already saw it in the episode.
So easy to mess up.
Nothing plays by the rules.
I do want to say one thing
know.
that was pretty cool is they had that like time grenade thing where you like push down and it will like
reset
up that variant strand that kind of happens.
The reset, yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge too.
Sorry,
guys.
Go ahead, Ethan. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, just pick a point in the MCU, and if you want to reset it, if Loki accidentally drops a bunch of those things, I don't know.
Well, a bunch of Infinity Stones or
a bunch of Infinity Stones. But yeah, you could reset a lot. I guarantee you Loki is going to battle with the fact that he could potentially go save his mother.
But what does reset mean? Reset mean it's still going to still going to be the same end result. They go into reset when stuff gets messy.
Yeah, only the variant line. It can't mess up.
So it's not going to mess with the sacred timeline.
It won't, but you can pull things. From my knowledge, it sounds like you can pull things and then then do the reset. Like if Loki wants to
patch it up, like take a chunk out of the timeline and then patch it with a variant type of.
Imagine, I picture it like this: if Loki wants to go save his mother, he's gonna go grab his mother, then hit the reset. I mean
it's just gonna create a variant of
it creates exactly. That's exactly what
he's gonna be on the run the whole time. It's just
probably it just creates a variant.
It's also interesting because the mom brought up a good point. She's like, I was raised by witches. Like I can see the future, like we haven't really had many characters that can see the future. Thor had a vision. And it's kind of cool to see some of these things play out and like people having that kind of look and that's so Raven moment, like being able to see the future and see some of these things. Like it's kind of cool to see. That's all that.
It's that this story, I'm calling it now, this story, and goes back to thematically, is what happens when you give a child the toy he's always wanted. What happens when you give Loki, a man who has craved power, the ultimate power? And that is what he's going to dabble with. Even though he's trying to get on this righteous path, this is what he's always wanted. Power.
That's a good point. So
And yeah, I imagine, I see it fleshing out like that.
Side note, did y'all think that it was kind of like messed up that they kind of told him his purpose in life was to be a loser to help bring out everybody else's best self? Like,
I mean, was he wrong though? Was he wrong?
He wasn't wrong, but
No.
I guess internally, I mean, Loki's looking at himself like, bro, what?
I
But I
heard
thought he was trying to kind of work things into his favor at that point.
Right, that's
that
how I
was,
was
that was Mobius. I think he was just trying to work him to get his help.
Bring
on what
bring
they're trying to crack.
what is it? You bring someone down to lift them up, right?
Yes. You
Reverse
bring them down
psychology.
to, yeah.
Reverse psychology. Yeah. So that's what I took from that. But again, y'all, come on, the Multiverse War. What do we got coming up in MCU?
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
we have the Multiverse of Madness that's coming up.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Before that,
Yes.
yeah, we have Spider-Man No Way
No Way Home.
Are we heading towards another Multiverse War? Is this the big build-up thing that we're building to? You know, we talked to, I think Dr. Jace and I on one of our news coups was talking, we don't really know what we're building towards. You know, everybody knew, you know, Avengers was building towards the fight for the Infinity
Thanos.
Stones
Right.
and Thanos. Is this what we're moving towards? This Multiverse War? And what does that mean? Like Tevin the Fifth said, this could reintroduce the X-Men, you know? This could be, I don't know, just a clash of, here comes Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 game, swinging with Tom Holland and friends, you know?
Oh my God.
These are huge implications I feel we're not really getting into.
We might get Venom, your favorite
Oh, no.
Sony property,
No,
into
no,
the
it's
mix.
Yeah.
No,
Young
no,
Avengers.
no, it's not.
There
Yeah,
will
the-
be
the
carnage.
full Avengers. Can you imagine an Avenger team that has like Wolverine and Storm and other X-Men people in there? Like, that'll be pretty lit too. to see.
Do you ever think Miles will make it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
He's confirmed to make it
No, not that he's confirmed, but
eventually.
Like
I mean,
Miles in a multiverse, or just Miles being introduced in general? Like,
Miles being introduced, right? Yeah, right.
Well, okay, so
Oh, like him actually donning the Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
yeah, because after the
I mean, because he's with Sony right now, no?
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse it blew up. It was so huge. I think people are gonna be like, oh, we need to get this property. You know.
oh,
Marvel.
I forgot.
It's
Okay.
Black Panther in a Spider-Man suit. Like it's definitely. Like I think that'll be crazy. Like it has to happen eventually. I don't know when, but like it has to happen.
Yeah, they got to work out those things. They got a lot of work with Sony.
Well, they alluded
But-
to Miles already. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Jace.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I mean, I get the reason to want to, like, you know, in a sense, blow your load over like just showing every single, you know, Spider-Man iteration into this multiverse thing. For Miles, I feel like he's set up to be such a good character to be introduced into the main series, like, you know, the main MCU. Do they want to waste that surprise
Through a multiverse.
for a multiverse? Which, I mean,
Right.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we're only gonna see him like once or twice for a multiverse shenanigan, and then he's gonna be gone. And then when eventually down the line, when we do get Miles Morales, it might not have the same impact
Right.
because
Okay.
we already saw him.
That's fair.
I mean,
Tom
unless
Holland's
he
Spider-Man
comes
already
from
stole
the
his
multiverse.
sidekick, so
I'm sorry. What was that?
Tom Holland's Spider-Man already stole his sidekick, so
Yeah. I just feel like Tom Holland's too great. He's doing such a good job.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to kind of, you know, go in between the two. You want to let Tom Holland have his moment for now, and then later on when stuff gets a little stale and, you know, the world opens up a lot more, then you can introduce him, because you don't want Miles Morales to be like a 1-2 off kind of thing. Like, you're gonna want him around.
You want him. You want him there as a mainstay.
So
Absolutely.
what's stopping him from being open and introduced in the multiverse, and then just being like, you know what, I want to stay.
Sony.
I want to stay and like be here and be part of the group. You know, like he can still have like that introduction to being like friends with Spider-Man and be like still like continue on in the stories. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to stop right there at the multiverse.
Well, he's young right now, right? Because
He
they
Tom
hinted
Holland's
at
still
him
in
a
high
while
school.
ago.
Or
and
Peter
he's
Parker's
young.
character.
Yeah, Miles has to hit at least 13 before he's introduced.
Yeah, so
And-
he's young right now.
No, he's like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super young right now. So the way I see it, if they want to go the multiverse route, you'll get a multiverse version of Miles who is older, you know,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
it'll kind of allude to Tom Holland's Peter Parker that, hey, remember that guy you met in remember Donald Glover played his uncle, Aaron Davis, and he said, you know, I got a nephew in this neighborhood that I got to look out for. So,
Well, wasn't Tom Holland supposed to be, or Peter Parker supposed to be that kid in the Iron Man mask and Iron Man?
he is. They retconned and confirmed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Like, I feel like with Spider-Man's movie universe, there's going to be a lot more of that type of stuff.
I just want to I don't mean to cut you off, Darce, but I don't reiterate how much I dislike that they make Spider-Man such a Iron Man thing. I understand it in the world, but
Get rid of
that
it.
is not. I don't like it.
We're
I've never
over it.
liked it.
I like
We're
it.
over it. I don't like the retcon, and I just need to get that off my chest. He
Oh,
is not
no.
no Iron Man lackey.
No, he's right.
No.
He's absolutely Rose, you're absolutely right. They need to stop.
It's fine.
No, it's not. Mysterio is not an Iron Man villain, and neither is Vulture, and yet their purpose in those movies were to get revenge against Tony Stark, and Spider-Man just happened to be there.
Okay.
Listen,
who's gonna have?
did you want rehashes of the same story that we've seen multiple times before? Again, I think that's a page maybe from Disney saying, hey, everyone knows Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Everyone knows Uncle Ben dies in the beginning. Let's do something different and make this Spider-Man our Spider-Man.
Right.
And that's where they did the whole Tony Stark and, I would say Tom Holland, Peter Parker, dynamic, the protege thing.
Yeah.
From a narrative standpoint, yes, it makes perfect sense. It's fine from a narrative
Agreed.
standpoint. However, you diminish Spider-Man and his relationships with these villains.
Not necessarily, because
Yes,
Spider-Man's the one
you
who thwarted them.
Darce
and
will tell you
as-
why you're wrong.
And as it's like he's thwarting these villains, and then now their prime objective, since Tony's not here anymore, is I gotta get Spider-Man. He put me in jail.
But it's the fact. Oh God!
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
What's wrong with Quentin Beck
Wow.
getting
What
fired
happened to
from a movie because his effects went bad, and now he wants revenge and a life of crime? Is that so bad? Is that so wrong? Can you imagine if Steven Spielberg got fired and he said, "I'm gonna become the Vulture"? I'm mad.
I watched it.
Yes.
Is that
Um,
so- Listen,
No, it's
Okay,
this
is a whole separate discussion.
Yes,
This
yes,
is-
we're talking too much Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This will be a
we
whole
have
separate
to-
debate.
Oh
definitely
yeah.
We'll come
But-
back to this.
But
I-
listen,
Overall, Loki is fantastic. I'm loving these different time variant conversations. Maybe we'll do another episode just about time variant situations that happen throughout the TV show. So
Do you feel like the flashbacks were effective, or do you feel like they took away from the episode in a way?
ooh,
I'm gonna say no because I know I'll pass it to somebody else. Thor: The Dark World was not good, in my opinion.
it
This
was objectively bad.
yes,
Thor,
this
the only movie I fell asleep twice. I fell asleep in the first one in the movies, and I fell asleep in the second one in the movies.
all right. See, so
Yep.
this first episode as well as Endgame have been kind of rewriting the wrongs of Thor: The Dark World by highlighting, Frigga, which is Thor and Loki's mother, her death, and playing on the emotional strings of that scene alone to the point where you kind of forget all about Thor: The Dark World. So I like that they are doing that. They are making references to this film that is not well received, and they're taking the good parts of it and building it from there, kind of retroactively giving it a better rep than
right. I agree. It's a good point.
I mean, in a way, WandaVision kind of did that a little bit too with, pulling what's her name from Thor.
Darcy from Thor.
Darcy, right?
Yeah,
Darcy.
exactly. Yeah.
So Marvel's definitely going back into their catalog and saying, hey, some of these movies might have been ass, but let's take some of the good parts out of it and, kind of remind the fans what happened. I'll be honest, I completely forgot that Frigga, is it Frigga or Freya?
Frigga. Yeah.
I completely forgot that she died in Thor: The Dark World. That's mainly because I watched those two movies only once, and
yet her death had such a huge impact on everybody else.
It did, exactly. And then once I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that really did happen. But it's interesting because I think even Kevin Feige on record has been on to say that Loki in general is just going to be, it's going to change the MCU in more ways than both Captain America. Well, actually, no, yeah, Captain America and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. So I think that's why we kind of like went off on our little tangent with the whole multiverse thing, because it is gonna affect that. They're dropping the just the vocabulary of a multiverse in this episode. So I mean, I don't know. I'm excited that they're making references to past movies and, tying that into Loki's character, and at the same time getting us hyped for the future. Everything with the multiverse and talking about like, oh, in the past there was a Multiverse War, and I'm sure we're gonna get more details on that too.
We got teased a little bit with that in SpiderMan when Mysterio was like, I'm from the multiverse.
Yeah, but
Cop out.
He
Oh
was
my
BSing
god.
the whole time.
I thought it was
a
a Mandarin 2.0. I literally thought it was a Mandarin 2.0 scenario. I hated that they were doing that. Man.
When the kid pointed to the glass stained window, did you think of Mephisto?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. I thought of
I feel like that's
Mephisto.
a tease, though.
Kevin
It was.
Feige has said it's not Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
But why
that's
would
the
they
fun.
do
You need
that?
Mephisto.
Why would they do that? That was clearly a very satanic image.
It's
right.
because Loki has horns in his
I mean,
helmet.
they both have horns.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about the
with
horns.
That's the only
Still
thing
horns.
that's like close to, an image of Loki in the church.
So time out. So can we
Exactly.
talk about the big twist? Can we open up the big twist?
Oh,
All right, let's do it.
go.
I'll go ahead. Let
Yeah.
Darce. Go ahead, Darce.
No, Tim, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you could lead in.
No, you do it.
No, you got
You're
it.
the
You do
Grandmaster, yes? You do
Oh.
this.
You do.
It's just a
You are the
title.
Grandmaster.
Oh,
Do
my-
it
Just
for
a title
Rasil.
now, huh?
Fine.
This is your table that we are eating at. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So the big twist by the end of the episode, Loki's now ready to work with Mobius in the TVA. This is his glorious purpose. He's rewriting his little book, and Mobius reveals the variant that they're hunting, because they hunt variants as they do, is none other than Loki himself. Which
What?
Dun dun dun.
that was a big question mark for me, because so Loki's gonna be hunting Loki, which, if that's really the case, why was he shrouded in black silhouette?
Didn't like it.
It's not him.
I don't think it's him. Yeah,
I don't think it's him. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's him.
Mystique. I'm just kidding.
It's Mystique.
Well,
Wait, time out though. If we don't think it's him, wouldn't the TVA be able to know if it was him or not?
Well, wouldn't the TVA, if they had that much knowledge, be able to avoid their men getting killed by this character?
No, because it's a variant timeline.
But that's the thing. They don't have enough information to go off of. I doubt, like, they can't even protect their own lives. You think they're going to get, like, the identity of this person correct, too?
yeah, they can't crack the case right now.
They can't.
We'll just
Yeah.
have to see. We'll just have to
And
see.
Loki is he does the shape shifting too, right? Yeah, he did it for his dad.
That is true.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he
He could easily
can.
be a shapeshifter.
But-
I wonder if there's like a theory that you can't have two variants in the same timeline
Oh, I'm sure you can't. I'm
like
sure.
for too long, like because obviously we had the Avengers that were like interacting with themselves, but like how long can they be in the same timeline? Is it gonna be the same thing with like Nebula, where Nebula, like all of her memories are starting to like
But
transfer?
that was a robot android thing though.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I don't think two can probably coexist.
Right.
But that begs the question: if this really is Loki, and he is a variant, how did he become a variant? You know, and B, which timeline, which part of the timeline is he pulled from?
And
Is he a
goes-
variant? Is he a variant of the variant?
Yeah, this goes all back to my.
So there goes your loop.
He has that good path, and then he realizes, I don't want to do this anymore. He gets control of the time stone or of the clickers or whatever, and then he becomes bad. And now they have to go back in time to hire younger Loki to go and capture Loki, all for it to just be in a giant circle. It's confusing because it's time, but it makes sense to me. I feel
Exactly.
like
Time does not play by the rules.
It
at this
does not.
Point, so it could be him. Who knows? TVA
I mean,
sure doesn't.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool, but Tevin, you don't think
No.
that's cool?
I'm okay with them perceiving it as him right now, but I would honestly prefer that, series finale, the episode before the end that we find out that it's not. And I agree with you. If it wasn't him, what was the point of having the hood on? Even when the fire, they lit the fire, I was like, okay, the fire comes up, then we're gonna see his face, and then we still didn't see his face. So I'm like, okay.
Not.
So I pray that it's not, just to keep
Good
everything
point.
fresh. I hope
I
it's.
mean, no, that's a good point. No, I was gonna say, like, there's other shapeshifters in the universe too,
Right.
that could possibly look like Loki whenever they're doing, their mischief, and then when they start to time travel, there's someone else, and that's how they can keep getting away because they're fooling people on how they look. I think also someone else that might be brought into this universe is Enchantress, who's been part
Ooh.
of
Enchantress.
Well, she might actually be coming up in Love and Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard any casting for her, but you raise a good point bringing her up because she can shapeshift too, right?
Yeah, she has magical powers, and I think she also teleports through like mirrors or something. She's pretty cool, She has magic. And this is right along the theme.
I think it would be a missed opportunity in a Loki series to not introduce more aspects of Asgard and more of the Norse mythologies.
Right.
So
Is Enchantress Asgardian?
she is Asgardian. Yes.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Mhm.
Huh.
And her whole shtick is like she's in love with Thor. She's just as mischievous as Loki as well. Just more out of pure kind of, I don't know. She wants to be worshipped as like an Aphrodite type
Oh, okay.
character.
Like the Norse version of Aphrodite.
Yeah, and so if you she's like uber beautiful. So if like you reject her, that's a hit to her ego. you
Right.
know?
And Thor was like the only person to like ever reject her or whatever. So
Yeah.
she's like, well, I need him now. So
Correct.
who knows? This might be, all part of the next phase of Thor. Maybe she is just mainly a character in Love and Thunder and it's kept secret. Maybe
Well,
she's
now that we're talking about Thor, do we want to see this series kind of like seep into the next Thor film? Would we like to see I don't know, maybe
When does it come out?
next year, February of next year. I mean,
February?
they just wrapped filming. Yeah, it comes out.
So,
Wow.
In the timeline order, after this is, other than Black Widow, what else is after this?
Goes Black Widow,
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, Spider-Man.
No. Eternals.
Eternal.
Right, Eternal.
Everyone keeps forgetting it.
Eternals, then Spider-Man, then Love and Thunder.
She-Hulk's in there somewhere, right?
Okay, the series, I don't know about the series. I know the Hawkeye series is supposed to premiere, and the Miss Marvel is supposed to premiere before 2021 ends.
Oh, really? I thought it was 2022.
I know the Hawkeye show, definitely, for sure. I know the Hawkeye show for
By
sure.
the end of this year.
Oh.
By the end of 2021, the Hawkeye show is supposed to come out.
Wow.
And that would make sense if it were to come out in October, because Shang-Chi comes out September,
Okay.
Eternals comes out November,
Black
and
Widow
The
in
entire
July.
fall season.
yeah, and then Spider-Man comes out December. So if it came out in October, they dominate the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, leading up to things, I think after Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, we have the multiverse, what we assume is a multiverse with Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire for the No Way Home Spider-Man. and then Love and Thunder right after. So this might transition straight into that, you know?
Oh, you know what? I lied. Multiverse of Madness comes out before Love and Thunder.
Okay, I was about to say, I was pretty sure Multiverse came out like right after Spider-Man.
So it probably contributed to that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I forget. They had just recently pushed everything back again. So
Yeah.
Love and Thunder comes out in May 2022. Doc Strange comes out March 2022.
Excellent.
Okay.
I can't wait.
And
Now that-
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it right here. Miss Marvel and Hawkeye are both supposed to come out before end of 2021, and the What If series, y'all remember? You heard of
I
it?
do remember that.
The What If series is their August slate, so they got it for
Balls
all the
covered.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Yeah,
Ka-chow.
Do I want this TV show to go some kind of way into the next Thor movie? For me, I'm more no/impartial, just because I want Thor to focus on getting their formula correct. You know, the first two were if you know, and the third one, you know, it was a little bit, for me, it was like overly funny. You know, it was like
Yeah.
it was really
comedy. Yeah.
So I'd rather them just focus on, especially for Nat. I like Natalie Portman, so I really want them to just focus on getting that, you know, their formula for their movie structure. You know, the look, the feel. I want to get that together first before they focus on bringing on, you know, outside.
Right.
stuff.
I agree.
That's fair. That's fair. I forgot that movie really is
'Cause I-
kind of like the passing to Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Right. And they need to get that pat down like solid, because I'm sure they saw the shift where the first two Thor movies with Natalie Portman were not that good. Then you take her out of the equation. You get Thor Ragnarok, which was better than the last two movies, and now you're gonna put her back in.
I think that's the director. Taika Waititi is freaking phenomenal. He's so great.
No, he is. Yeah.
I give all the credit to him.
No. He deserves a lot of that credit.
He
But I
does.
give points to Chris Hemsworth too. He went to Kevin and I think he basically said, "Yo, man, you got to switch things up because I'm not." He almost quit. You know, he almost quit playing Thor because of the Thor films. He did not have fun enjoying those filming those films. So Chris, you know, taking helm of, you know, the character.
The hammer.
Take the hammer for the character he helped build and make a household name.
You know, I watched the first movie the other day. You know, they his eyebrows were blonde, the hair was super
Yeah,
blonde.
they did too much.
When you go back and look back at it, this is super crazy looking. But yeah, and it needed that. I'm like, I mean, we're not talking about Thor, but like Ragnarok was the shift in tone was very much needed, especially because Thor is like a fan favorite. So you got a fan favorite in the movie like X-Men, and it's not really like delivering the way you want it to. Like with Natalie Portman, you got a chance again to just tighten it up real good, and then you can start exploring all the other stuff. You know, the entrances and you know, they got to get their tone right first for their particular movie series. But go continue.
They'll probably put little eggs of it in there, because my thing with this show is that I wanted to do what they say. If it's supposed to change the way we look at this cinematic universe right now, I wanted to do that in every aspect. And I think they've been kind of leading up to it anyway. So I wanted to do that. But specifically with Thor, I'm kind of impartial too. So if they sprinkle a little bit of it here and there, but not make it like a big point of it, then maybe. But yeah, I'm open to whatever they do with it. I think they have amazing directors, so I don't doubt that the right decisions will be made and it'll be an enjoyable movie. So,
All right, cool.
I agree. Honestly, I think it's safe to say we all enjoyed Loki as a first episode. Like, you know, just a good setup overall. Good setup. Hopefully the ball gets rolling as the series goes on pretty quickly. And I just kind of like the theories that, you know, I mean, that we all share today. You know, we got theories on Multiverse. We got theories on his character. You know, is he going to remain a variant? What's his end game in all of this? The Infinity Stones being paperweights in an office setting. And then, you know, is this going to lead into like maybe the next baddie? Because we kind of touched on Kang the Conqueror. And there's even some theories that like the weapon that Loki was around when, you know, he lit that place on fire, the Variant Loki that they're chasing at the end. Some people think that's Kang the Conqueror's weapon. Yeah, because apparently some of the text, it says like it's from the third millennia, I think.
Yeah,
And
he's super far in the future. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I'm really not familiar with Kang, but I know he's like way off, like way into the future.
Yep.
So I mean, there's that too. That there's just from one episode, I feel like Loki has done a lot of good setup, a lot of good play on old material, from past Marvel properties, and just Loki as a character as he developed throughout the series. So overall, first episode pretty solid. I think it could do better, and I'm excited. Do you guys? Oh, go ahead.
No, my last comment for real. I just hope it doesn't pull a Game of Thrones final season. You know, I just, you know, in my mind,
Like in what way?
the episodes. You know, for the last season of Game of Thrones, they were like, oh, we don't need more episodes because we know how the story's gonna end, and this is just gonna be enough.
Oh, okay.
Watching it, you realize no, y'all needed like 2 more episodes just to, you know, flush everything out. They needed like 2 more episodes.
I trust Marvel more than I trust D&D, who did.
I don't put it past anybody. I just hope they can really get it done in 6 episodes. That's always like my biggest thing. Cause for TV shows in particular, you know, I like it for me to feel complete. To feel complete, I need like an 8 or a 10, and I'm more on the side of a 10 than an 8. But at least like, I'm still a little bit worried about that. But like you said, you might be right. I should have a little more faith in Marvel at this point. But just 6 episodes, 43 minutes to build, you know, open up a multiverse. I just can get it done.
Well, here's the thing also. Falcon and Winter Soldier was also 6 episodes, but I think we can all agree the final episode probably could have used an extra one to flesh out the characters, the conclusions, the final fight. I can see where Tevin's coming from on this.
Fair. Yep.
Yeah, so
overall, I give it a B.
Solid B.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a solid 8. Yeah.
I could a solid 8.
Ooh.
It's just a B. An 8's a B. What's wrong with an 8?
Well, that's you're a teacher. That's your skill. That's your skill.
Yeah, that's an 80. I give out 80s all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's your skill. That's fair.
Why? What did you give it?
I mean, I get more in the 7 range for me.
Okay.
Same.
I think it's good. I know the exposition was needed to build it. I know everything needs to be built right now. But kind of like Dr. J said, I'm ready for the ball to get rolling.
Okay, that's fair. I feel that's usually with premieres. Like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 8 because I like character pieces. But I agree with you. I'm sure the ball will be rolling by next episode.
Agreed.
Any other final thoughts? I think everyone covered there. You gave B, Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Rose gave a between 7 and 8.
No,
Tevin,
he said a
Darce.
7.
Oh, 7.
He gave
I'll give it a
C.
7.5. Jeez. In my ranking, that's not I don't go to the standard American school scale. A 7.5 to me is still a solid thing for me. It doesn't equate to a B or a C.
All right.
To me, an A is like anything above 8. Movie wise or show wise, in my
Who
opinion.
liked you when you were younger?
I would rather.
What do you mean?
Oh,
7.5 is a B.
I think to me,
Yeah, you round
I'm not gonna
up,
spend
right?
too much. Okay, so I just finished watching Quiet Place 2. That's like a B plus movie to me.
Okay.
So to me, that's like a 7.98.
Okay.
All right, we need to stop comparing.
Okay. Yeah, our scales are
We'll
different.
be here all day.
I don't use ABC or anything like that. My scales are different.
I would rather you be a 7.5 for episode 1 than a 7.5 going along. You know, 7.5 for the groundwork, I'm okay with. You know, and I really do believe the next episode is going to be amazing. So in my heart of hearts, so I'm just gonna give it this 7.5 and just know they're gonna do better down the line. You know, I feel like a lot of time was going
We've already seen.
Yeah. I watched that on YouTube a million times. I didn't need to see it again.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I would say that puts a ka-chow on our review.
Wow.
Wow.
Ethan has to make Grandmaster has to make it to his second set, so I won't rush him too much.
He does. Hurry up,
my
so we can
God.
close out.
Okay. Oh, you want me to close out?
Oh no, no! If you were gonna change into your set.
No, we're good. It's down the
Okay.
street. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say that wraps up our review of episode 1 for Loki at the Yonkō Table. Super excited to see how this series is going to develop and what implications they're going to have for the rest of the MCU. And you guys heard it here. We got plenty of theories, a lot of food to digest with this one, but hey, we all left full, and that's what matters. But don't forget, follow social media at YonkoTable on Twitter and Facebook and our YouTube.
And our Instagram.
Insta Insta official. And the Instagram is at YonkoTable.
The Yonkō Table.
The YonkoTable. So yeah, give us put the in the beginning. But yeah, give us a follow on there and let us know your thoughts as well. Leave a like, review, comment, rate, subscribe, all the shenanigans on all of our social media. So with that said, I am DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonko GrandMasterHoop, and fellow Supernovas Tevin the Fifth, Darce, and Rose the Crafter. Signing off. Take care, everyone.